In this video, I'll be going over how to do on-page SEO for your WordPress website. So this isn't going to be those massive 100-point checklist or 200-point checklists you've probably seen. I'm going to be covering the main things that actually matter. I don't see any point of going over these 100, 200-point checks. They're not going to make that much of a difference. With on-page SEO, you get to a point of diminishing returns. So I'll go over two pieces here. So there's the 80% and then there's the 20%. And I'll be explaining each one and why it matters. So I'll be using my dummy site here as an example. So let's get straight into it. So first of all, before you actually do your on-page SEO, you need to make sure you've done your keyword research. You need to make sure you've actually got your target keyword ready. Now, keyword research is a different video, but there are a bunch of ways to do it. But once you've done it, that's when you can move on to on-page SEO. Currently, I'm creating a tool. It's basically done, and it should be out by the end of this month. Just download the Easy SEO extension, and it will update you on when it's out. After you've got a target keyword, make sure your page answers the user's search intent. So, for example, this dummy page here. So best graphics card for i9 9900. So that's the keyword that they've decided to go for. So I know the intent's right because I've already searched this up. So if you look here, so what are people looking for? They're looking for recommendations on this graphics card, on the processor, to match with the graphics card. So they've gone ahead, done their research, and given a list of keywords. Sorry, given a list of graphics cards, and you can just look, and there's a Reddit there, and it's the same thing over and over again. So that's what this page is doing, is giving a bunch of recommendations. So make sure your page's intent is right. So do you need a product page, right? If you're an e-commerce, do you need a product category page? Do you need a blog post? Is the intent behind the query informational? Is it navigational? Is it commercial? You need to figure that out, because you want to match that with what the user has in mind. So after you've done that, is look at the average word count. So there's no exact word count. You need just a rough figure to get a good understanding. So you can download the Easy SEO extension to get a word count. So this is 1500 words. And this page is 1700 words. So is that at a good word length? So this page over here, 3600 words. So that's a big one. So maybe beefing it up might increase the rankings. So of course you'd have to test the word count, but we know we'd go on the first page with the current word count. So this seems like an easy keyword to go for as a forum. So that's how you determine, get a rough figure on what word count you want. There's no exact figure you go for. Now let's say there isn't a page ranking for the keyword you want. There's nothing out there, there's no competition. In that case, you'll just have to figure out yourself what would the user want. So just write the article or write the category page as is, as you would think the user would want, and then you can see where your rankings land. So next up is have the keyword in the meta title. So this one's one of the most important things you can do. So the meta title here, you can see that. And you can download the Easy SEO extension and you can see the meta title. Best graphics card for i9 9900K. There you go, it's in the meta title. Very easy. And you can adjust that with the Rank Math SEO extension. So you can just edit snippet and then just put it there. And a quick tip would be to put the percentage symbol, then type in current year, and then type in percentage at the end, and that'll automatically update it to the year. So if you put current month, it'll automatically update it to the current month. So yeah, I'll leave it at year. So that's that. And hit save. So next up is you want your keyword in the H1 tag. This is another important one. So this is the H1 tag, as you can see here. Inspect and H1 class. If you don't want to inspect, you can just download the Easy SEO extension, go to headings, and you can see the H1. And the way you edit the H1, it'll be via the actual title, and that's how you edit it. Just make sure your keyword's in there. Next up is have your keyword within the first 100 words. So you want it within your body somewhere. So the first 100 words is best. So it's not in the first 100 words. Or you look for the best GPU for your i9 9900K. So instead, I look for the best graphics card for your i9 9900K. So that's another simple one. Make sure your keyword is in the URL. Now, this depends on the length of the URL. So best graphics card for i9 9900K. That's fine, but if you've got a longer keyword, condense it. Personally, they should be in best GPU for i9 9900K because you want to keep the URL short. So if you've got a short keyword, target keyword, that's fine. If you've got a longer one, then you want to condense it as best you can. So next up is add LSI keyword. So LSI simply stands for latent semantic indexing. So it's basically a fancy way to say synonyms. So it's essentially semantic keywords that relate to your target keyword. So how do you find related keywords? Well, there are a load of different ways. So one of the ways you can do so is type in your keyword into Google, and you can see these the meta description. Some terms are being bolded. Now these are called LSI keywords. So best graphics card, and you can go on and on to different pages and figure it out, see which ones. So the same here with the related searches. So 2023 GPU, they're all LSI keywords. Also, people also ask you can use the most relevant questions in your article. So I do have a tool for this. It's not released yet, but it should be by the end of this month. It'll be part of the Easy SEO extension, and all you do is type in your keyword and it'll pull in all the semantically related keywords for your target keyword, and you just pick the most relevant ones. But that's a simple way to find some semantically related keywords and just sprinkle it in. So you've got GPU here. So that's just an abbreviation, I believe the word is, for graphics card. So let's just say graphics card. Spelled that wrong. So I've picked the best graphics card for every type of gamer. I've picked the best GPU for every type of gamer. Now I've just fit that in there. And that's essentially all you're going to do. So next up is have a minimum of 2 images. Now I've tested this with no images, 2 images, lots of different images that scale to the word count. And I find that you should have at least 2 images for your page to actually rank, because if you don't have any images, it's going to take a very long time for your page to rank. Just throw up something. If you want custom images, just throw up some stock images, and then later on when you decide to create those custom images, that's when you can remove the stock ones and use those. And you can use Pixabay for free images. So graphics card. And unfortunately they don't have any. So you can literally just go to Canva, that's another way, or you can just use a YouTube video and screenshot that. So next up is images. Sorry, next up is your page scannable. So you don't want a big block of text. You want to break it up. So this page has done a decent job at breaking it up. So it's broken up the text. It's put in a colorful table recommending things. It's got a table of contents, it's got the images, it's got headings, it's got these quick facts here, quick specifications. It's got a table going over the benchmarks of this graphics card. It's got the pros and cons. So this page has done a decent job at breaking things up. But an even better example would be a website called Backlinko. And this is a great SEO blog that Brian Dean used to run. And this does a great job at breaking things up. As you can see here, everything's very custom. Custom images. He's put arrows there. It's made the images easy to understand. And he overall does a really good job. So maybe I could find a better example. But yeah, break it up. It's very simple. Just add images, add your headings, add some tables, make it look colorful, and you're done. So that's the 80% of on-page SEO. Again, you can go a lot deeper, get a lot more stuff. But this is the bulk of it. If you've done this, you've done about 80% of on-page SEO. Now this is the 20%, and you can make the 20% list even longer, but I don't see any point. So let's go over to 20%. So page speed. So you want your page to be fast loading. So one of the ways you can do that is reduce the image file sizes. So you can download the Easy SEO extension, go to images. So large image files, these are image files under over 100 kilobytes. So you can see which ones these are. So I can see this. And if I go over to media, this is taking a second. All right, if we go over here, if I move my face, where's media? Media library, and you type in that URL. I don't see it, but you can find the correct one. So it was this one. So you can go over here, you can highlight the image file, and then you go to media library, and there we are. So what I did was I basically looked at the URL of that image. That was really big, so large image files, and after the / after the date, that's where I highlighted it. I excluded the size of the image, and I just copy and pasted that in there, and boom, got the image. And you can use a plugin to shrink it. So next up is internal links. Oh, another page speed tip, you can use a plugin to shrink the code as well. That's another way. So minimize the CSS, JavaScript, etc. So you want everything to be minimized. Another thing you do is implement lazy loading, which is as you scroll, that's when the page will load the images. So next up, internal links. I was going to add this to the 80% because this is really important, but I'd say this is more of a strategy than an on-page thing. It falls into both technically, but I just put this in the 20%. I'll cover this in another video. So internal links. So you want to link to another one of your pages, relevant pages. So maybe you did another post on best graphics card for X type of processor, and you can link to that, and then that post can link to your post. This is a way to avoid orphan pages, and if you're getting backlinks, it's a way to spread the power of those backlinks. But a powerful way you can use internal linking is as a silo. So let's just say you've done a bunch of posts on best graphics card for X, and you can internally link all those to each other. So that's another powerful way. If you've got an e-commerce site, what you can do is have your e-commerce category page. You can link to the subcategories, and those subcategories can link to the parent category page. That's a way to silo your pages essentially. But that would be a powerful strategy. I'd move that up, but for this video I won't, because it's just a singular thing we're doing here. So next up, table of contents, and just keep in mind these are in no particular order. So next up, table of contents. It's going to add some links to the SERPs. So it's going to add some So when you search something up, sometimes under the search, there's some links to sections of the page you can get to quickly. So add a table of contents. It's also going to help the user from a user experience perspective. So you can add a table of contents plugin. They can jump to the place they want. I believe Rank Math has a table of contents section now as well. So next up, custom meta description. So the meta description doesn't really matter that much because 9 times out of 10, I should say 99% of the time, Google will automatically change the meta description. But for your most important pages, for let's just say you've got an e-commerce site, and let's just say you've got an e-commerce site here, and this particular category it's selling a lot, that's when you can put in your custom meta description. That might help increase rankings because Google may actually read it and take its and use it to comprehend what the article or page in general is actually about, but it probably won't. So I don't see any point in doing a custom meta description for all your pages, especially if you've got a lot of them. So your most important pages, sure, but all of your pages, there's really no need. So next up, external links. So there's multiple case studies which show that external links help increase ranking. So link to something relevant and authoritative. A lot of people link to Wikipedia, but at this point in time, everyone does that. I'm not sure if it actually passes a lot of power. Google actually takes that. It's more of Google already knows that, well, people are going to link to Wikipedia. It's pretty standard. So instead of link to something that's authoritative within your industry. So for example, this is a entertainment website. So on authority on this particular topic could be Crunchyroll or Kotaku. So these are really important or really authoritative resources within that industry. So as you can see here, covers anime and video games. So linking to that is a good way to link to an authoritative source. Next up is schema markup or structured data as it's referred to. And this is essentially makeup for your website. So for example, you've got an e-commerce product page. Let's just say some Goku figures. And as you can see here, they've got product schema. And I know this because this stuff is showing up. So if you click on here, go to the Easy SEO extension, go to schema, and as you can see, there's product schema. So as you can see, there's reviews, and as you saw, we saw the reviews, saw the price, and we saw in stock. So if you look here, it says in stock right here, and that's schema. So it's going to help the user understand a bit more about your page without even having to click on it. It's also going to be more visually appealing, as you can see with these stars, and overall it's going to help the search engine understand your page better and you'll be ranking better. Next up, name your image files. So before you upload your image, make sure you've named the file. So this only really matters if you're trying to rank images. So for example, let's say you sell trainers, and so black Nike running trainers. So that's something you'd name the file, and that'll help you increase in rankings for the image search. So next up, alt text. This is a way to give a description to your product or to your image, sorry, in general. So you just go to images and you can see missing alt text. There are 3 images. So let's take this one. And let's go back to media. Put the name in. And as you can see, there's no alternative text. So what is this? This is the AMD 6600 XT. That's what this is. And if I move my face, I believe it should automatically save. Yep, it automatically saves. Refresh. So it hasn't saved, not yet, but it will do. But that's how you do the alt text. Next up is custom meta description, which I've already covered. I just moved that down. And that's basically in a nutshell. It doesn't have to be super long. I've done SEO for over 7 years now, worked for different agencies in the UK. Had a bunch of niche sites, and overall I've got a lot of experience, and I found that these matter the most. Now there are ways you can take this a step further. So you've got ChatGPT. You can paste in Google's content quality guidelines, and this is for ChatGPT 4. And then you can say, compare this file to my page over here. And I've tried that, but ChatGPT isn't there yet. I haven't figured out a prompt that does that well. It's very gimmicky at the moment. So in the future, that's probably going to help. AI will help with improving your on-page SEO. But in the meantime, in the current time we're in, this is what you're going to want to do for your WordPress website. And to be honest, any website in general, this is how you're going to want to do your on-page SEO. And another thing about WordPress, if you go to settings, go to reading, just make sure this is unchecked. So discourage search engines from indexing this site. If this is ticked, it's basically going to kill all your rankings. So make sure this is unchecked. This is something that a surprising amount of people have ticked, and then they wonder why they aren't getting ranked on Google. But that's it. That's the 80-20 principle of on-page SEO for your WordPress website, and some handy plugins you can download or Rank Math, a page speed plugin, and that's essentially it. You don't need much. I'd recommend keeping your plugins lightweight. You don't need to go in hard on your plugins. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, download the Easy SEO extension, because it's going to make your life a lot easier with SEO.